Good evening, everyone. This is Dave. I said I'm going to stop saying and you know, so I'm going to try that as much as possible tonight. I know I have a very, very bad habit of doing it. Tonight I'm going to talk about a camcorder that I own. It is the Canon Vixia HF S30 prosumer camcorder. 32 gigabyte internal memory with optional dual memory card slots in addition to the internal memory. Each slot can hold up to 32 gigabytes per slot, so that would give you a total of 96 gigabytes of memory. So what I'm going to do, I have my list with me, so hopefully I won't say the word too much, because I know I have a very bad thing of doing that. So if I script, I'll try to cut that down as much as possible. So first I'm going to talk about the camera in general. I've had this camera going on 2 years now, and I love it. I really, really love it. I've had, a total of 4 different Canon models, both mini DV tape and internal flash memory, as this one is. And the internal flash memory is the way to go. You don't have to worry about having to buy tapes at the last minute or running out of tapes. With the internal memory, you can copy from the internal memory onto your memory card slot. You can copy from card to card, and you can copy simultaneously, or if you also have the option of, once the main memory is full, recorder will continue on to the card slot in slot A, and then once slot A gets filled, then card B will take over. So you have plenty of recording options to help you whatever you're doing as far as recording. So let me show you initially the ports and stuff. Hopefully you can see this pretty good. Let me zoom in here. Trying to get some light. This light's not very good. Okay, on this side here, you have your card slot. So basically, both your memory cards are inside here. You have port A and port B, and again, like I said before, you can use port A and port B for extra recording space, or you can copy from A to B or from B to A. You also have here, in this very little circle, hopefully you can see it, this is your remote port. So if you have a wired device such as a external zoom control or a camera control, you plug right into here. So for those that are familiar with it, that's like your LANC port. And next to it is your audio video / headphone jack port. So if you're recording and you need to check on the sound while you're recording, you plug your headphones into this slot. And when you're playing back on your television or monitor or what have you, you go through your menu setting and then switch it to audio video. So basically video can play on your monitor or TV device. And then you have here a component out for those that have editing software like Adobe Premiere, or what I use Avid Studio, which I love Avid Studio. You can control the functions of the camera as far as importing from the camera into your computer from the computer itself. So you don't necessarily have to connect your camera and then pull the images off or pull a card out. You can just plug the camera in directly. You also have on the back your power, your external power supply to plug into your wall outlet. Hopefully you can see that a little bit. It's kind of awkward the way they have it when you plug it in. I'll show you here in a second. See a little bit. Okay, so you have the cover that slides out here in the back, and then this is the cable that comes with the camcorder, plugs in like that. So I mean, it does hang down a little bit, kind of out of the way, so it's not that intrusive while you're watching, on the screen, or if you're accessing any of the controls, or even the touch screen itself. It's not a big issue with me. I've seen other camcorders where the power cord is right on the side, and you couldn't close the camcorder while you're recording. Which was the cool feature about this camcorder. While you're recording, you can close the display and it will continue recording while it's recording. As long as the power cable is hooked up to it, it will continue recording. So if you don't want to be too intrusive or too noticeable, or if you're at a wedding or an event where you want to set this on a tripod by itself, you can sit on a tripod, push record, have the power connected to it, and then close the display cover, and it will continue recording as long as you have power connected to it. So that's a very nice feature I like about, with the Canon models. Back. Okay, then also on the other side, underneath the strap, you have the USB port, and then also the HDMI out port. You can also import your pictures or video from within the camera through the USB port. Once you plug it into your computer 9 times out of 10 will recognize it as a, let me see if you can see that a little bit better. Your computer recognizes it as an external hard drive. So it would treat each memory location, whether it be your internal hard drive or your 2 memory card slots, as a separate external memory card slot or external hard drive slot. And then your computer will bring up 3 different menus, 1 for the internal and 2 for the memory card. So that's also a pretty nice feature. Then also you have your, if you can see that, you have your microphone jack for your external microphone. I have a Rode Videomic Pro, which I'm going to talk about that once I finish talking about the camera. It works pretty good. I wish I had an XLR, controller, what have you, to where I can plug it directly in, and then I can swap out whatever type of external microphone I want to use. So unfortunately, when you plug it in and out, you hear the sound, while you're plugging it in and out, externally and internally when with your headphones. So just something to be mindful of. Now, talk about the card slots. Well, I already talked about the card slots. The display. Now, this display is a fingerprint magnet, definite fingerprint magnet. It takes some getting used to from using, the joystick control, which are on other Canon models. You have a little joystick here that you can navigate through the menu, or you have actual buttons. So this screen here, again, like I said, takes some getting used to. You have your main functions as far as your initial settings, and then you also have your menu access. And again, that's the standard Canon menu. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit closer. See earlier about the menu. Menu has your basic functions, including your menu function. And again, for those of you that are familiar with the Canon point and shoot cameras and also some of the video cameras, it's the same standard menu interface. So you have your video settings, your film settings, and then your control settings. So pretty much the same basic stuff. Again, like I said, it takes some getting used to the touch screen and certain functions. The cool thing that I like about some of the functions here, like this autofocus, you have your screen right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me move the light away. You have your screen right here. So if you're in an environment where it's too dark or too light, you tap anywhere inside this box, and the camera will automatically adjust to where we touch in the box. So if it's an area that is too dark or too dim, touch that dark spot, the camera will automatically lighten to that setting to give you a better view. If it's too bright, you touch the bright spot, the camera will automatically dim. So it is very, very great. Also, too, you have manual function control throughout the camera. You have, when it comes to your, sorry, wrong button. Let me go back. Microphone, here we go. You have the option of your automatic microphone level, which your camera selects the audio levels, or you can manually adjust them yourself. So this is very helpful when you have an external microphone outside of the camera that's plugged when you're plugged into your camcorder, and you can adjust the settings internally by listening to your headphones. So very nice features and stuff like that. So again, if you're familiar with touching the touch screen on the cell phone, this is not that far different. Okay, so talk about the ports, card slot, the display. Oh, the viewfinder. Another cool function is this viewfinder. Hopefully you can see that. you know, if you're in a place where it's very dark, you don't want your display to be noticeable or too bright, you can pull this display out, viewfinder out, and then automatically the camera will switch to the view display. It's not adjustable at all, so unfortunately that's only, you know, drawback to that. But other than that, it's a pretty good, you know, display. You can't really tell true colors as well as you can with the screen or on the computer screen, but it does the job, you know, when you need to. And again, like I said, it works very well. The video light is kind of interesting because you have to, let's see if I can find it. You have to touch the display in order to turn it on, which I thought was very, very interesting. Let's see. Or maybe I am the one who doesn't know. Just hold on. Let's see if I can. Light. It pops up. Okay, you have to go to display. I'm sorry. Oh, here it is on the side. Close that. Display. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. It's been a minute since I used the video light, because normally I don't use the video light on the camcorder. That's the funny thing. Function. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Light. All right. Okay. So you have to activate the video light by touching the light button on your display. I mean, ideally, I prefer for it to have a separate button to where you just push the light on the fly, but you know, that's neither here nor there. And then also too, the camera has a built-in flash, so you can take pictures and video both at the same time or independently. The camera gives you the option of being in video mode or in camera mode. Now, as far as my video light, I use this. Let me zoom out here. I use this Vidpro 125 LED video light, which works pretty good. It doesn't light up the whole entire room, but it will definitely blind somebody in the eye, that's for sure. So it is adjustable. So that's at the lowest setting, and then you can see, crank it all the way up. It's very blinding. It's great for blinding people's eyes, but it's another thing trying to light up an area or light up a room. At best, I probably could get like maybe 15 good, decent feet being able to light an area. But however, if you're photographing people that are close by or that are walking towards your camera, it definitely can blind them. No doubt about that. So, and then also too, how I attach it, I use the proprietary slot here. I bought this adapter piece from B&H Photos called a it's made by Pure Stone, so it's a adapter for your camcorder for external devices. So basically, you just slide it in. Okay, turn the dial. Okay, and it secures just like that. Now this shoe is designed for both any type of audio light or any. Video light or audio microphone. Okay, so you just slide it on there, secure it, and for the most part, you're good to go. Let me zoom out a little bit if I can. And it does look a little professional. I use a camera bracket when I have to handhold the camcorder, and also have to have a microphone and a video light setup. So for the most part, I'll talk about the Rode microphone a little bit later. Now, Canon also offers proprietary microphone that fits into the slot, and also proprietary video light, which also fits into the slot. They're both it's like $192 for the video and flash combo, $140-something for the regular video light, which is not very bright or powerful. The unidirectional microphone, I believe it was either 150 or 180. But again, once the slot's taken up, that's it. You have to find another area to attach your light or what have you. So for me, just having this setup right here, along with the hot shoe adapter, and my camera bracket, you know, it suffices enough for me, so I can have all 3 devices and working very well. Now, the microphone on this camcorder is on the sides, as you can see. Hopefully, I'm sorry, I forgot I'm showing a video here. Microphones here on both sides. They're both stereo. They work pretty good for the most part. You don't have too much feedback while you're listening or while you're recording, and it does a pretty good job. It is very sensitive, however, so you have to be mindful of your photographing from, let's say, the far end or whatever's going on. It is going to pick up voices that are very close by. Even if they're whispering, it will pick it up very, very, very well. So that's the microphone. Now, this camcorder does come with a remote that gives you some basic functions. You can record, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can activate the menu functions or some of the menu functions and scroll through them. I prefer to have a separate remote control access to do that. That's physically tied to the camcorder, because one of the things I've noticed on some of the jobs that I've done with this camcorder is if I have to make changes on the fly, I have to touch the touchscreen. The only control that I don't necessarily use the touchscreen for is the exposure. And this camcorder has a separate, let me zoom in here a little bit. Let's see, you can see it a little bit. There we go. This has a separate dial and button on the inside that allows you to set predetermined functions. So in this case, if you want to set your microphone level, you can use this. Exposure, contrast, auto white balance. You can do all that. Or you just set one function for this dial. This dial is only one function dial. So for me, I use it for exposure on the fly, so I can push the button in, adjust on the fly, and then push the button again to set the settings. So that's the only drawback, to that. So I've been looking online for different external remote control units I can plug into the camcorder. Canon has their own brand, which is like close to $200, and I've been searching ever since for a cheaper third-party device. The battery that comes with the camcorder is the standard battery. Normally, these things last at best 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and that's a big maybe an hour if it's recording straight, solid. But if you stop and go, constantly zoom in and out, it will drain your battery. So I do recommend that you get an extended battery so you can kind of see the difference. See the difference here. Extended battery definitely gives you at least 2, maybe 2.5 hours of recording time. This is a Canon brand, and I have 2 of these in addition to the standard battery, so that gives me at least 5 hours of recording time, which is plenty enough for any type of event that you're doing. And they charge up pretty fast with the wall charger, and also too, you can charge up your battery through the AC port on your camcorder. Plugs right in, and then Canon also has a double extended battery for this model. So you have standard, extended, and double extended. Double extended gives you at least 3 to 4 hours of recording time, which is crazy. I've been meaning to save up some money so I can buy me one of those double extended batteries, so that would definitely help out, with your arsenal as far as recording. So you have a long day, or if you're out on vacation, you don't have to worry about battery life once you have an extended battery or double extended battery. And what's next? Let's see, the multi-function button, which I did talk about that. Let's see, focal length. Now, prior to me purchasing this camera, I had a Canon HF camcorder, which had 15 optical zoom. This camcorder has 10 times optical zoom, which some may say that's unfortunate, but the difference was my HF camcorder. Let me see if I can show it to you here. If you can see it, you probably can't see it, it's too small. But basically, My HF20 had a 4.5 to 60 millimeter focal length, so that's 15 times. This camcorder, even though it's 10 times optical zoom, starts at 6.4 and goes up to 64 millimeters. So it had a longer, somewhat longer focal length than, longer distance and focal length compared to my HF20, but it was still 10 times optical zoom. So unfortunately, this camcorder, unlike my HF20 camcorder, doesn't have a wide angle view. So, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so it doesn't have a wide angle view, so you kind of have something like a normal view to telephoto view, whereas my HF20 gave you a wide to telephoto view, optical. But so far, from what I've experienced with this camcorder, it does a pretty good job. Still gets out there pretty far in distance, so you can kind of bring things in closer to you, and recording quality is outstanding. That's one thing I can say about this camcorder. The recording quality is unbelievable. I was looking at videos that I've done in the past with it, and I was sitting at the screen. It's almost as if I could reach out and touch the screen or touch someone within the screen. And when it comes to low light, this camcorder having the half-inch sensor built in does make a difference in low lighting situations. My HF20 had a quarter-inch, sensor. But this model, the FS30, has a half-inch sensor. So that half-inch sensor allows the pixels, either allows more pixels in the total area, or allows a certain amount of pixels to be larger. So larger pixels captures more light, or more pixels capture more light. So it does make a very, very, very big difference. Photo quality is pretty good. You can get 8 megapixel or up to 8 megapixel images on here. It does not have RAW capability, which I don't really see a necessity for a RAW capability photo file in a camcorder. And there's also software you can use to pull a frame off a video clip if you want to use it as a photo image. So that within itself is a very nice feature. Let's see, what else did I miss? I think I got everything that I wanted to talk about. Photo, video, low light. Well, yes, when it comes to low light, you don't see as much graininess with this model. My HF20, when it came to low light situations, it was very, very, very grainy. It was unbelievably grainy. Had a hard time focusing. This camcorder does not have that issue. It has, the standard different video modes, and also photo modes. When it comes to chroma, sepia, vivid. It has. Let's see, what else does it have? It has so many of it. It's unbelievable. Let me function. Let me see. I have to remember all this stuff because there's too much stuff to try to remember all at once. Oh, that's what I also forgot to mention. This camera has automatic gain control, so it's kind of like a professional feature. Whereas if you're trying to control so much brightness, or even when it comes down to, I forgot what automatic gain control does. I'm trying to remember. Well, automatic gain control deals with the sound, so you can kind of dial down your sound a little bit more. Not a whole lot, but you can dial it down or up just a little bit, depending on the situation of what you're recording. So those are things that that use. It has some. This camcorder does have some professional features. It doesn't give you the full complement of those each individual professional features, but it does make recording a little bit easier. So this camcorder normally, or actually a couple of years ago when it first came out, sold for like $1,100, and I managed to get this camcorder for $800 off of Craigslist. No guy had to sell it right away. So for me, it was great, and he had the battery, the box, the charger, everything except for the extended batteries, which I already had. The camera's lightweight. The shutter, which closes, is spring tight. It doesn't bother me that, I mean, you hear the noise, but it's not a big major deal for me. Now, my wish list, I would love to have for this camera would be a bigger barrel. A bigger barrel to allow more light to come in, especially for low light situations. It does make a world of difference. A larger sensor would also be nice. I know ideally it'd be too much to ask for Canon to put in, a 1-inch sensor in these prosumer model camcorders. But we know if Canon does decide to do that, it will be decades from now, won't be tomorrow. Longer focal length. I would prefer this camcorder, just like my HF20, to have a wide angle to kind of telephoto range, at least 15 times optical zoom. A lot of the camcorders that Canon have out right now, with the exception of a couple, are 10 times optical zoom. So it'll either be a wide angle to kind of a normal zoom range, or be a normal to a telephoto range, but you won't get that wide gambit of wide to normal to telephoto range. And better and faster focus. Now, the focus is okay. There are times when, if there's extreme light differences that happen instantly, let's say you're photographing a play at a school or a stage, and the stage lights go from dark to light, sometimes the camcorder will have a hard time focusing right away, or vice versa. And then also too, even though, like I said, the quality is great, I wish I could push it a little bit more with the dynamic range a little bit, but other than that, this camcorder is a very, very solid performer. I'm glad I got it when I did. I'm very happy. I have no complaints with it whatsoever. And the other last wish list that I wish this camcorder had would be like more buttons. All your functions that about 90% of the functions that you have to access are on your display screen. So sometimes, like, again, when I was earlier looking for the video light, if there was a button on here that said light, just push light and keep on going. I guess also too, I'm a button person. I like buttons. I love to have buttons. The display screen kind of slows you down a little bit because it has to be used to your touch, or if you don't touch it right, it doesn't activate. So you have to go back, and that can cost you in losing a particular scene, or not capturing a scene the way you want to, because you have to fumble with this display screen. So that's about it as far as the camcorder is concerned. And since the camcorder doesn't have a wide angle field of view, I bought the wide angle lens adapter, the WD-H58, which gives you a 0.7 times wider field of view. It works great, and the only drawback that I can say is when you put the lens on and you zoom the camcorder out to the widest setting, you get this big black circle, vignetting circle on your screen. In order to get rid of that vignetting circle, you have to kind of zoom back in. So even though it does go in wider, but sometimes you lose some of that wide angle of view because you have to zoom back in to get rid of that black vignetting circle. So basically, this wide angle adapter lens didn't come with a hood, so we of course had to buy that separately. This attachment, let me see if I can get it off. So it might be stuck on there. Okay. What I had to do for this adapter ring to get it to fit on this lens, I had to take my Dremel tool and shave out the inside of the entire ring. Because when I first bought it, only part of it would fit, but not the whole thing would fit over the lens. So I had to get my Dremel tool and then shave out enough so that way it fits on top. This lens hood is okay. I paid like $20 for it, so you get what you pay for. So again, that's that. And again, with the microphone external microphone that I bought for it is a Rode Videomic Pro compact shotgun microphone. So for the most part, it works pretty good. It uses a 9-volt battery. Lasts for a very long time. According to the instructions that come with the microphone, the 9-volt battery lasts up to 70 hours. 70 hours of time. So you have your, let me turn it on here. You have, so you can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hopefully, okay. You have your normal, let me see if I can, there we go. Okay, you have your normal setting, and then it has a high pass setting. So depending on your situation, you may have to, the normal for the most part works pretty good, but if you have a situation where you need a high pass filter, you have that option. And then also too, you have your decibel level. So you have your plus 20 for loud areas, you have your 0 for normal, and then you have your 10 for low quiet environments and the like. Now the microphone itself sits inside of a frame that uses these rubber elastic bands all the way around. Turn it off. And they help keep the microphone sturdy. So when you're walking with it, I don't know if you can notice it or not, but I'm shaking it, but the microphone's not hitting the sides of the frame. So you can walk around with this and not have to worry about hearing your microphone clickety-clackety, against the frame or while you're walking. It's very, very solid. And also Rode gives you extra bands to use in case these start to wear out over time. I kind of have mixed feelings about this microphone. This is my first external microphone that I bought for this camcorder, and I guess I have to get used to it. So far I've used it in environments when I do weddings and stuff like that, and this type of microphone works pretty much line of sight. So if you're not within line of sight of your subject, you'll pick up everything. And even like if I'm in the back of a church or back of a ceremony, I can pick up some of the guest voices off to the side of me. So this microphone is very sensitive. It works very well, but again, it works best with line of sight. I would say no more than maybe 15-20 feet without any issues. But and again, like I said, for me, it takes some getting used to. And then also too, for me, when you plug the microphone, into the camcorder, inside the camcorder, you have the option to adjust the internal microphone levels. Now, if you're in a quiet environment, it works fine. But if you're like in a noisy environment, which, I know some of you probably saying, well, you're duh. But if you're in a noisy environment, even with the headphones that you have on, it is hard to kind of pinpoint how much sound this microphone's picking up from your subject. So, those are, little things that, like for me, I have to kind of get used to. And even sometimes it's just better to just use the internal microphones of the camcorder itself. It works very well. Balances out. You can't fine tune it like with treble, bass, your high ranges and stuff like that. But overall, it does work very well. As much you can expect for a prosumer model. So if you have any further questions or comments, please post them down below. I hope this helped those that may be considering buying this camcorder or considering something else. I've had my eye on the HF or HGF10 or HFG10, the model above this one. I've heard great reviews about that. And then also too, another wish list thing, which is on the HFG10 model, is that you have an adjustable barrel for your focusing, for your manual focusing. The dial on here, if you were to set this custom dial for focusing, it kind of takes a little bit to getting used to, because this thing is so fine. When you turn it, you don't notice any changes right away. So it's kind of like you have to kind of turn it a whole lot to notice something different. Other than that, it works very well. I've had great compliments about the quality that I've done on certain jobs, and for the most part, people couldn't tell the difference between this and a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 camera. Video camera. Excuse me. So that's in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to write me back and ask me. I'll be happy to answer them. And have a good night.